जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
जय। हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
हरे
एवरीवन।
कृष्णा।
कृष्णा जय। हरे कृष्णा रीना जी।
हरे कृष्णा भैया।
हरे कृष्णा। कृष्णा and happy Balram Purnima, Lord Balram Purnima today. So very auspicious day. And at the end of the session, we'll hear Lord Balram Pranam and Lord Balram Kavach Stotram. So that'll be so nice. Yeah. And so we'll start. So, we started reading Canto 6. This week we are on Adhyay 1st of Canto 6 and Shlok 15. And in this Adhyay, Sukdev Goswami ji is explaining Parikshit Maharaj what is the best perfection of life, right? Because in the last Adhyay, in last Canto, there were a lot of descriptions about hellish planets and things like that, right? Based on different karmas, how different hellish planets are given to people and all that. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking for how can one get away from that? What is the best way of living the life? What should be done? And so initially, Sukdev Goswami ji explained about how the Karma Yoga can help, how the Gyan Yoga can help. But then Parikshit Maharaj is asking, like, even people are in Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga, they can do the atonement, do the prayashchit, and then do good karmas. But then again they fall down, and again the bad karmas are done, and then this cycle is never over. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking for a better way of getting through this, and in fact getting out of birth and death, and so on. So that's where Sukdev Goswami ji is explaining this Shlok 15 we were reading, and where he was saying like Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudev Parayana. Yeah? Unalloyed devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful reactions. Right? But that's one aspect, that uproot the weeds of sinful reactions, sinful actions, but with no possibility that they will revive. Because the question of Parikshit Maharaj is like again and again it happens. So how can you really get out of it? Right? And it says here, so only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful reactions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service. Yeah, Bhaktya Vasudev Parayana. Just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays, निहार में भास्कर है, कोहरा हट जाता है सन जाते ही, उसी तरह with the devotional service the sinful actions and reactions can go away, is what is mentioned. So we'll continue reading from Shlok 16. Anil.
न तथा ह्यर्घवान् राजन् पूयेत तप आदिभिः यथा कृष्णार्पित प्राणस्त तत्पुरुष निषेवया. My dear king, if a sinful person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penance, brahmacharya, and the other methods of atonement I have previously described. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, like one cannot be purified just by undergoing austerity, even though it will help. He'll reach to bigger planets, higher planets, and all that, right? But just tap adi, etc. is not enough. And the best way is that if a person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord, right, and learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, right? It says here, Yatha Krishna arpit prana, Yatha Krishna arpit prana. That's the way to get out of the sinful reactions. Rinaji?
सदृशीनो ह्यं लोके पन्थां क्षेमो अकुतो भयः सुशीला साधवो यत्र नारायण parayana. The path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved and fully endowed with the best qualifications is certainly the most auspicious path in this material world. It is free from fear and it is authorized by the Shastras. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, and authorized by the Shastras. Somebody is not just saying that, right? Even Sukdev Goswami is saying that this is the path authorized by the Shastras. And what is the Shastra? What Shastra we are referring to? So essentially all our Vedas and Purans, right? They are our Shastras and they authorize and they tell, right, that the path followed by pure devotees is the most auspicious path in this material world. Yeah. Says Sushila hai, sadhu yatra Narayan Parayana hai. So Narayan Parayana hai is the best path to follow. Ajay?
Prayaschittani Chirinani Narayan Paramukam Na Nishpunanti Rajendra Surakam Mivapagaha. My dear king, as the pot containing liquor cannot be purified even if it is washed in the waters of many rivers, non-devotees cannot be purified by process of atonement even if they perform them very well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What Sukdev Goswami is saying is that the non-devotees, people who are not dedicated to devotional service, they can go through process of atonement. But if there are Narayan Paramukha, they are non-devotees, they cannot be purified, yeah, even if they do a lot of atonement. Sakrinmanah Krishna Padar Vindayo Nirveshitam Tadunaragi Nate Yamam Pasha Britakshata Dadane Sapane Api Pashanti Chena Nishkrita hai. Although not having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto his lotus feet and who have become attracted to his name, form, qualities, and pastimes are completely freed of all sinful reactions. For they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamraj or his order carriers who are equipped with ropes to bind the sinful. Yeah. What Sukdev Goswami is saying is that Krishna Padar Avindyo, right? Krishna Pad. People who have surrendered at least one, he says Srikan Manaha means Srikat is once, at least once. Yeah, Srikan is at least once who have surrendered to Lord Sri Krishna, right? They don't see the sinful reaction, they don't see the Yamraj, right? As we read in the last chapter, right? What happens in terms of atonement. So have once surrendered completely unto his lotus feet, and so have become attracted to his name, form, quality, and pastimes. And that's what we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? What we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Sri Krishna's various names, various forms, avatars, his qualities, his pastimes, and the devotional service, right? This is what we also read in Srimad Bhagavatam. And again, it's a very nice purport, so let's read this. Hare Krishna, Tanu.
Hare Krishna, Gajan. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Evam Sarvanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yishyamami Yami Ma Sukha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. The same principle is described here. Sankran Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. If by studying Bhagavad Gita, one decides to surrender to Krishna, he is immediately freed from all sinful reactions. It is also significant that Sukadeva Goswami, having several times repeated the words Vasudeva Parayana and Narayana Parayana, finally says Krishna Padaravindayo. Thus he indicates that Krishna is the origin of both Narayana and Vasudeva. Even though Narayana and Vasudeva are not different from Krishna, simply by surrendering to Krishna, one fully surrenders to all his expansions, such as Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mata Parataram Nanyat. There is no truth superior to me. There are many names and forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is the supreme form. Krishnastu Bhagavanam Swayam. Therefore, Krishna recommends to neophyte devotees that one should surrender unto him only. Mam Ekam. Because neophyte devotees cannot understand what the forms of Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda are, Krishna directly says, Mam Ekam. Herein, this is also supported by the word Krishna Padara Vindayo. Narayana does not speak personally, but Krishna or Vasudeva does, as in Bhagavad Gita, for example. Therefore, to follow the direction of Bhagavad Gita means to surrender unto Krishna, and to surrender in this way is the highest perfection of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so basically, we all know this particular Bhagavad Gita shlok, right? From 18th Adhyaya 66 shlok, right? Sarva Dharman Paritajya. And what Sarva Dharma Paritajya is, Dharma here doesn't mean like Hindu, Muslim, all that, right? Dharma means whatever one is doing as part of the duty and kartavya, right? And following whatever like Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, like those are the kind of dharma which Lord Krishna is talking about here. And then he's saying that Sarva Dharma Paritajya, like you abandon all these kind of different things. All you need to do is Mam Ekam Sharanam Vijay, right? Like just surrender unto me. And once you do that, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. Yeah? Sarva Papebhyo. That's what we are reading, how to get out of all the sinful reactions. And Lord Sri Krishna himself is saying here that Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. Yeah? I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. All you need to do is Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Yeah? And then you do not fear, you get Mokshiyami Mam Shuchara. And that's what is being mentioned. And of course, Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then we are reading in the last chapter also and in last canto, right? Like the form of Lord Sri Krishna, we saw like Lord Sankarshan, Lord Vasudev, Lord Aniruddha, and of course Lord Narayan, and so on and so forth, right? But there is no difference. There is no difference in Lord Sri Krishna and the other forms, right? But Krishna is the original Adi Anadi Govinda, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? You're reading this. Anilji?
Parikshit Maharaj had inquired from Sukadeva Goswami how one can be saved from falling into the various conditions of hellish life. In this verse, Sukadeva Goswami answers that a soul who has surrendered to Krishna certainly cannot go to Narak, hellish existence. To say nothing of going there, even in his dreams, he does not see Yamaraj or his order carriers who are able to take one there. In other words, if one wants to save himself from falling into Narak, hellish life, he should fully surrender to Krishna. The word Sakrata is significant because it indicates that if one sincerely surrenders to Krishna once, he is saved even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful activities. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Api chetasu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak bhak sadur ivasa mantavyah samayag vyavasito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. If one never for a moment forgets Krishna, he is safe even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful acts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So Lord Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita, like if he is engaged in devotional service, yeah, sadhurivsa manantavya, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. So even if he sometimes by mistake or whatever commits the sinful reactions, but he is always in the surrendering mode of Lord Sri Krishna, yeah, then also he is considered saintly, basically. Yeah. Rinaji?
The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita 2.40, the Lord also says, Neha bhikarma naso sti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya triyate mahato bhayak. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Elsewhere in the Gita 6.40, the Lord says, Nahi kalyan krit, kashchid durgatim tat gachati. One who performs auspicious activity is never overcome by evil. The highest kalyan, auspicious activity is to surrender to Krishna. That is the only path by which to save oneself from falling down into hellish life. Srila Prabodhanand Saraswati has confirmed this as follows. Kaivalyam narkayate tridashapur akash pushpayate durdantendriya kala sarp patali prokta khata धम दमस्त्रयते विश्वं पुराण सुखयते विधि महेन्द्रादेश च कृत्यते यत करुणया कटाक्ष्या वैभवावतम तम गौरम एव स्तुमा. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the sinful actions of one who has surrendered unto Krishna are compared to a snake with its poison fangs removed, proktata damastriyate. Such a snake is no longer to be feared. Of course, one should not commit sinful activities on the strength of having surrendered to Krishna. However, even if one who has surrendered to Krishna happens to do something sinful because of his former habits, such sinful actions no longer have a destructive effect. Therefore, one should adhere to the lotus feet of Krishna very tightly and serve him under the direction of the spiritual master. Thus, in all conditions, one will be akuto bhaya, free from fear. Okay? Hare Krishna. Ajay?
अत्र चोदाः Harin Harantim Mimati Hasam Puratanam Duta Nam Vishnu Yamayo Samvasadasya Samvadastam Nibodh May. In this regard, learned scholars and saintly persons describe a very old historical incident involving a discussion between the order carriers of Lord Vishnu and those of Yamaraja. Please hear of this from me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So Sukdev Goswamiji is so far now telling Parikshit Maharaj about the Bhakti Yoga, and then he's saying, in this regard, yeah, Itihasam Puratanam. So in the Itihas, historical incident, right, which involves a discussion between the carriers of Lord Vishnu and those of Yamraj. Dutanam Vishnu Vishnu's Dut and the Yamraj Duts. And please hear of this from me. So you know who is this? He's talking about? No, whom Sukdev Goswami is talking about in this historical incident? No, he's talking to Parikshit Maharaj, and he's telling Parikshit Maharaj that now I am going to tell you an example which is described in the historical in our Puratanam, right? Itihasam Puratanam. Yeah, very historical incident. So Ajāmila, he describes the story of Ajāmila. Yeah, Ajāmila who keeps saying Narayan, Narayan, and then how he is saved from the Yamdutas. That's the story he's going to describe. Right? Chalo. A nice purport. Let's read this, Tarun.
Puranas are old histories, but sometimes neglected by unintelligent men who consider their descriptions mythological. Actually, the descriptions of the Puranas, or the old histories of the universe, are factual, although not chronological. The Puranas record the chief incidents that have occurred over many millions of years, not only on this planet, but also on other planets within the universe. Therefore, all learned and realized Vedic scholars speak with references to the incidents in the Puranas. Srila Rupa Goswami accepts the Puranas to be as important as the Vedas themselves. Therefore, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he quotes the following verse from the Brahma Yamala. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Ekantitiki Hare Bhratir Utpatyavya Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada. Panchakratra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. A devotee of Krishna must refer not only to the Vedas, but also to the Puranas. One should not foolishly consider the Puranas mythological. If they were mythological, Sukdev Goswami would not have taken the trouble to recite the whole historical incidents concerning the life of Ajāmila. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ajāmila, right? So all Vedas and Purans and Upanishads, right, have been having examples of over the millions of years and all over the planets, right? People, of course, don't understand that, because the intelligence is only like few hundred years old, right? Whereas, as we know by now that we are all eternal, we have been there throughout the millenniums. So, okay, and so now the history begins as follows. Sukdev Goswami is now reciting that story. कान्यकुब्जे द्विज है कश्विदासी पति रजामिल है कामना नष्ट सदाचारो दाशाह संसर्ग दूषित है. In the city town as Kanyakubj, there was a Brahmin named Ajāmila who married a prostitute maid servant and lost all his Brahminical qualities because of the association of that low class woman, right? So now Sukadeva Goswami is telling the story of Ajāmila. Anil?
Vandakshay Ketavashcharyo Yangar Hirtam Brattimastitaha Vibrat Kutumba Masu Chiryata Yamasu Dehinaha. This fallen Brahman, Ajāmila, gave trouble to others by arresting them, by cheating them in gambling, or by directly plundering them. This was the way he earned his livelihood and maintained his wife and children. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rinaji?
एवं निवसस्तस्य लालयानस्य तत्सतान् कालो अगत्य गान्महान् राजन्नष्टाशीत्यायुषः समाः. My dear king, while he thus spent his time in abominable, sinful activities to maintain his family of many sons, 88 years of his life passed by. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
तस्य प्रव्यसः पुत्रादश तेषां तु युवमः बालो नारायणो नाम्ना पितृश्च दीयतो भृशम्. The old man Ajāmila had 10 sons, of whom the youngest was a baby named Narayan. Since Narayan was the youngest of all the sons, he was naturally very dear to both his father and his mother. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so the youngest son was named Narayan. Yeah, and Narayan, he was the youngest, so he was, of course, very dear to his parents. Tarun? Tarun?
Sir. Sabbaddha hridayas tasmin arbhake kala bhasini nirikshama samanas tal lilam mumude jaratho prasaram. Because of the child's broken language and awkward movements, old Ajāmila was very much attached to him. He always took care of the child and enjoyed the child's activities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Here it is clearly mentioned that the child Narayan was so young that he could not even speak or walk properly. Since the old man was very attached to the child, he enjoyed the child's activities, and because the child's name was Narayan, the old man always chanted the holy name of Narayan. Although he was referring to the small child and not to the original Narayan, the name of Narayan is so powerful that even by chanting his son's name, he was becoming purified. Harer Nam, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore declared that if one's mind is somehow or other attracted by the holy name of Krishna, Tasmat Kinyapi Upayena Manah Krishne Niva Sayet. One is on the path of liberation. It is customary in Hindu society for parents to give their children names like Krishna Das, Govinda Das, Narayan Das, and Vrindavan Das. Thus, they chant the name Krishna, Govinda, Narayan, and Vrindavan and get the chance to be purified. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so that's the power of the name, and also it is mentioned that there is no difference in the name and the Lord himself, because the Supreme Lord is absolute, and the absolute means there is no difference in the name and the form itself, right? Like for us, we have a name and then we have a form, right? There's a difference. But when he's absolute, that's what the Supreme Lord is. There is no difference in the name and the form. And that's why the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so powerful that slowly and slowly one gets purified, right? Is what is being mentioned here. Anilji?
भुज्जानः प्रपिबन् खादन् बालकं स्नेहयन्त्रितः भोजयन् पायन् मूढो न वेदागतमन्तकम्. When Ajamil chewed food and ate it, he called the child to chew and eat. And when he drank, he called the child to drink also. Always engaged in taking care of the child and calling his name, Narayan, Ajamil could not understand that his own time was now exhausted and that death was upon him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
स एवं वर्तमानो अज्ञो मृत्युकाल उपस्थिते मति चकार तनय बाले नारायण वे. When the time of death arrived, the foolish Ajamil, he began thinking exclusively of his son Narayan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rinaji?
पाशहस्तां स्त्रीन् दृष्ट्वा पुरुषानिताद् दारुणान् वक्रतुण्डानूर्ध्वरोम्णः आत्मानं नेतुमागतान् दूरे क्रीडनकासक्तं पुत्रं नारायणाभ्यां प्लावितेन स्वरेणो चैराजुहावाकुलेन्द्रियः. Ajamil then saw three awkward persons with deformed bodily features, fierce, twisted faces, and hair standing erect on their bodies. With ropes in their hands, they had come to take him away to the abode of Yamraj. When he saw them, he was extremely bewildered, and because of attachment to his child, who was playing a short distance away, Ajamil began to call him loudly by his name. Thus, with tears in his eyes, he somehow or other chanted the holy name of Narayan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice. What here, Tarun?
A person who performs sinful activities performs them with his body, mind, and words. Therefore, three order carriers from Yamraj came to take Ajāmila to Yamraj's abode. Fortunately, even though he was referring to his son, Ajāmila chanted the 4 syllables of the Hari Nama Narayana, and therefore the order carriers of Narayana, the Vishnu Dutas, also immediately arrived there. Because Ajāmila was extremely afraid of the ropes of Yamraj, he chanted the Lord's name with tearful eyes. Actually, however, he never meant to chant the holy name of Narayana. He meant to call his son. Hare Krishna.
Nisamya Miryamanasya Mukato Hari Kirtanam Bhartunam Maharaja Parshadahase Sapatan. My dear king, the order carriers of Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately arrived when they heard the holy name of their master from the mouth of the dying Ajamil, who had certainly chanted without offense because he had chanted in complete anxiety. Okay? Anilji?
विकर्षतो यादसीपतिं जामिलं यं प्रेष्यान विष्णुदूता वारयामासुरोजसा. The order carriers of Yamaraj were snatching the soul from the core of the heart of Ajamil, the husband of the prostitute, but with resounding voices, the messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, forbade them to do so. Hare Krishna.
So the Vishnu Doots also arrived and they are stopping the Yam Dutas. Ajay?
ऊंचू निर्षेधितास्ते वैवस्वत स्ववत्पुरः सराः के यूयं dvaro dharmarajasya shasanam. When the order carriers of Yamaraj, the son of the sun god, were thus forbidden, they replied, "Who are you, sirs, and that have audacity to challenge the jurisdiction of Yamaraj?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and as we know, Yamraj is son of Suryadev. Yeah. And so they are asking, like, who are you? To Vishnu Dutas, like, who can even go over jurisdiction of Yamraj? Rinaji?
तस्य वा कुत आयाताः कस्मादस्य निषेधतः किं देवा उपदेवा या यूयं किं सिद्धसत्तमाः. Dear sirs, whose servants are you? Where have you come from, and why are you forbidding us to touch the body of Ajāmila? Are you demigods from the heavenly planets? Are you sub-demigods, or are you the best of devotees? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Yam Dutas are asking Vishnu Dutas, like, who are you really? Pardon?
सर्वपद्मा पला सक्शसा पिता कौशेय वससः किरीटिना कुंडलिनो लसत् पुष्करा मलिना सर्वे च नूतन वयसः सर्वे चतुर्भुज धनुर्निसंगसी गदा शंखचक्रम्बुज श्रिया दिशो वितिर्मिरलोकः कुर्वन्त स्वेन तेजसा किम अर्थम धर्म परस्य किंकरन् नो निषेधतः. The order carriers of Yamaraj said, "Your eyes are just like the petals of lotus flowers, dressed in yellow silken garments, decorated with garlands of lotuses, and wearing very attractive helmets on your heads and earrings on your ears. You all appear fresh and youthful. Your 4 long arms are decorated with bows and quivers of arrows, and with swords, clubs, conch shells, discs, and lotus flowers. Your effulgence has dissipated the darkness of this place with extraordinary illumination. Now, sirs, why are you obstructing us?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Yam Dutas are talking to Vishnu Dutas, and they are describing how they are dressed up, right? How they are looking, as mentioned, right? Pit Koshe Yavasas hai, Padma Pala Sakshas, right? Lotus feet, Kiritina hai Kundalino, right? And Charu Chaturbhuja, having Shank Chakra Ambuj Shriya, right? And Sven Tejsa, like so much stage, right? That all the Andhakar has gone away. So, but then why are you obstructing us? Is what Yam Dutas are asking Vishnu Dutas. Anilji?
Shri Shuka Uvacha Itukte Yamadutaste Vasudevokta Karinah Tan Pratyuchaha Pratyuchuhu Prahasyedam Mega Nirdya Gira. Sukadev Goswami continued, being thus addressed by the messengers of Yamaraj, the servants of Vasudeva smiled and spoke the following words in voices as deep as the sound of crumbling clouds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just one more slok. Ajay?
Vishnu Duta Uchuhu. Yuyam Vai Dharmarajasya Yadi Nirdesh Karanah Brut Dharmasya Nastachvam Yacha Dharmasya Lakshanam. The blessed messenger of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas said, "If you are actually servants of Yamaraj, you must explain to us the meaning of religious principles and the symptoms of irreligion." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so they are asking Yam Dutas, do you really know the meaning of religious principles? Essentially, like one who is chanting the name of Lord Narayan, right? He cannot be touched. So I think we'll pause here to 6. We'll continue reading about this, right? As when we start. Next week, we'll take a pause since it's a long weekend, and also Janmashtami next Wednesday, right? So next Wednesday evening is Janmashtami, and then Monday is, of course, the holiday. So next week, we'll take a pause and then we'll restart the Monday after that. Yeah. And today is, of course, Lord Balram Purnima, very auspicious day. So let's do the Balram Pranam, and then we'll also hear the Balram Kavach. Lord Balram Kavach.
It's also Super Moon Day today.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, Super Moon Day. It's a Balram Purnima. So Lord Balram was born on this Purnima day. Yeah. We see the blue moon or something, right? Did we see that?
It's
Well, we have
raining.
cloud here, so
It is cloudy here also.
Yeah.
Barry, it's raining like cats and dogs, so you can't see anything.
Right. Yeah, it's raining right now. But yeah, it's a Purnima, very nice day. And it's mentioned that we should do the devotion to Lord Balram, and he gives us the power to do the devotion of Lord Sri Krishna. So it's very nice to do the Balram Stuti. Balram Stuti. Yeah.
Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shri Balarama Pranama. नमस्तेस्तु हालाग्रह नमस्ते मुसलायुध नमस्ते रेवतीकान्त नमस्ते भक्तवत्सल नमस्ते बलिनां श्रेष्ठ नमस्ते धरणीधर प्रलम्भारि नमस्तुभ्यं त्राहि मां कृष्ण पूर्वज
Shri Lord Balram ki jai. And now we'll hear the Balram Kavach.
Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shri Balabhadra Kavacha Stotram. लोकदामादिपति परेश्वरः परेषु मां पातु पवित्रकीर्तनः भूमण्डलं सर्षपवद्विलक्ष्यते यन्मूर्ध्नि मां पातु स भूमिमण्डले सेनाशु मां रक्षतु सीरपाणिर् युद्धे सदा रक्षतु मां हली च दुर्गेषु चाव्यान् मुसली सदा मां वनेषु सङ्कर्षण आदिदेवः खलिन्दजावेगहरो जलेषु नीलाम्बरो रक्षतु मां सदाग्नौ वायौ च रामो बतुके बलश्च महार्णवेनन्तवपुः सदा मां श्रीवासुदेवो बतु पर्वतेषु सहस्रशीर्षा च महाविवादे रोगेषु मां रक्षतु रौहिणेयो मां कामपालो बतु विपत्सु कामात् सदा रक्षतु धेनुकारिः क्रोधात् सदा मां विविधप्रहारी लोभात् सदा रक्षतु बल्बलारिर्मोहात् सदा मां किल मागधारिः प्रातः सदा रक्षतु वृष्णिधुर्यः प्राह्ने सदा मां मथुरापुरेन्द्रः मध्यन्दिने गोपसखप्रपातु स्मरात् पराह्ने बतु मां सदैव सायं फणीन्द्रो बतु मां सदैव परात् परो रक्षतु मां प्रदोषे पूर्णे निशीते च दुरन्तवीर्यः प्रत्यूषकाले बतु मां सदैव विदिक्षु मां रक्षतु रेवतीपथिर्धीक्षु प्रलम्बारिरदो यदुद्वः ऊर्ध्वं सदा मां बलभद्र आरात् तथा समन्तात् बलदेव एव हि अन्तः सदा व्यात् पुरुषोत्तमो बहिर्नागेन्द्रलीलो बतु मां महाबलः सदान्तरात्मा च वसन् हरिस्वयं प्रपातु पूर्णः परमेश्वरो महान् देवासुराणां भयनाशनं च हुताशनं पापचयेन्दनानां विनाशनं विघ्नगतस्य विद्धि सिद्धासनं वर्म परं बलस्य इति श्रीगर्गसंहितायां श्रीप्राड्विपाकमुनिकृतं श्रीबलभद्रकवचस्तोत्रम् सम्पूर्णम्। हरिः ओम् तत्सत्।
Right. So that's Lord Balram. Nice Kavach Stotam, right? And so again, we'll take a pause next week. Everyone enjoy Janmashtami. I'm sure on Wednesday, a lot of programs. In the ISKCON Mandir here in Hillsboro, North Carolina, right? We'll have 8 hours Kirtan starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think 4 to 12.
That's very nice.
Yeah. I'll be leading the Kirtan at 11 p.m. if you make it at that time. It's 11 in the night.
Is there a YouTube link to it? Live telecast?
There is actually, in fact, Hillsboro Temple. So in a Hare Krishna channel, there is some Hare Krishna channel. I'll try to find out.
If you can.
And then it's always like live. They have a camera there, so they're always live. So that'll be 11 p.m. in the night is my
And your fans in New Jersey can benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always in fact, a lot of temples of ISKCON, they have the live telecast these days.
Nice.
And especially from Mayapur and Vrindavan and all around the world. New Jersey also, they'll have a lot of programs in Edison Temple. I don't know if you have been there.
Not recently.
Yeah, but in Edison also it's a beautiful temple actually. So they
Yeah.
acquired the church and made it a Krishna temple so that they don't have to go through all the
Right.
regulations and all that.
Right.
But it's a nice auspicious week. Krishna Janmashtami is always a huge day. So everyone enjoy, and we'll see you next Monday. And then one more thing is 9:30. Everyone is okay with that? Like if
Yeah, I'm good.
9:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. So most likely then we'll change to 9:30 p.m. from next to next week. Right? I think what date is that? Let me see. So 11th September.
9/11.
9/11 is when we restart. Okay. So we'll start at 9:30 p.m. 9:30 to 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
So
Thank
everyone
you.
enjoy the long weekend and Janmashtami and have a nice time. See you back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Good night.
Krishna.